What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So, we have some big news here. The TANABATA LR has just gotten his details announced here. So, we have the full kit for the brand new Super Saiyan 4 Goku coming to JP in just about a week here. So we're going to go ahead and, be taking a look through his details. There is a lot to look through here, because he does have a standby skill, that works similar to the Boo Boys. So he is going to get, actually two separate transformations that we're going to have to be able to, take a full look at here. He's got some different transformation modes that we can go into. So yeah, there's a lot to look at here. But the very first thing that I want to address before we even get into, the meat and potatoes of his kit, looking at the unit himself, I want to go over and take a glance at his 200% leader skill. So, this is the setup for his 200% leader skill. The lead that he is rocking here, I suppose I could just show you on the card. So GT Heroes and Full Powers are getting the 170% portion of the leader skill, and then Pure and Hybrid Saiyans are getting the extra 30%. Right off the gate, I have to say that this is super disappointing to me. I've already seen some people, initially freaking out in a good way about this leader skill, because if we just take a look at the roster here, it's like you've got every single unit on the 200% portion of the leader skill is a pure hybrid Saiyan unit, right? So there's obviously going to be a ton of top tier options to pick from. We're definitely going to be able to make, some really powerful teams with him as the leader, which is cool. That's nice. The problem is, every single one of the units on his 200% team already had a 200% leader. Recently, I did a video, talking about all of the units that do not yet have 200% teams. So I've actually pulled up that list over here. So this is the list of every single unit in the game that doesn't have 200% teams. I made a full, in-depth video talking about, some of the best leader skills that could come to the game that would benefit this pool of characters the most, because there are so many, different types of units here that are just aching for a 200% lead. And unfortunately, with this new Super Saiyan 4 Goku, not a single one of the units on this list has been picked out for a new 200% team. So all of these units just get to sit here yet again. So yeah, there's really not much more to look at here. I was excited to see which new units would have been pulled off this list, but it turns out that there are absolutely zero. So that is exciting stuff. So yeah, no new 200% cards, unfortunately. So yeah, I guess, the kind of toss up here with this is that while it is a good, decent category that has a lot of good options on it, it just so happens that these are all of the same top tier, S tier units that get a ton of 200% leads. All of these cards can be used on plenty other builds, right? There's so many different just pure and hybrid Saiyan teams that we can culminate under various different leader skills to make these busted 200% teams. We really did not need another option. So I am really, really disappointed that the pure and hybrid Saiyans thing was a part of his leader skill. It just doesn't make sense to me. I feel like it would have made a lot more sense if they had gone for something more niche. I don't even necessarily know. I don't really have any examples off the top of my head. Maybe I could come up with something when we take a deeper dive look at his categories here. Maybe there could have been something more niche that would have been a bigger benefit. So yeah, that is just kind of a bummer. But with that information out of the way, let's go ahead and dive in, because like I said, we do have a lot to look at here. So, he is going to be called just Super Saiyan 4 Goku, in base. So I guess that is something to consider as far as units that you're going to be able to use him with, right? Because if you are running the LR, AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku, they're going to have the same name until you get this guy to transform, so they won't link up and stuff. So yeah, that's definitely a considerable factor here. I know everybody was expecting it to be a full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, which is part of the card, but he just doesn't start out that way. So that does kind of change things up a little bit, from what we were initially expecting when the card got announced. Okay, so starting out with this kit here, he's got 150% attack and defense at the start of turn, and 3 ki. And then he gets an additional ki every time he selects a ki sphere, so that is good. He's got the the Super Saiyan 4 ki mechanic that's very, very common on SS4 cards. Okay, so then he gets an additional 70% attack on super attack, and then he has a high chance to crit on super attack as well. Okay, interesting. And then he's got If you are attacked or dodged during that turn, attack 70% up, defense 3% up for 70 turns. Okay. So if you are... So basically on the turn where you're attacked, you get... This is really weird. 70% attack and only 3% defense? For 70 turns. I feel like there's something a little bit funky in here. This is actually my first time going through a unit's kit with a raw translation like this, because I'm just using the Google Translate. This has all been posted to the website in Japanese, and I'm using Google Translate here, so this isn't going to be 100% accurate, so there might be a few portions of the kit that don't make a ton of sense, or I might not be able to explain, so we'll just have to bear with it, but I'm sure we'll be able to get the gist of what this guy does. So yeah, there's probably something funky going on right here, because 3% defense doesn't really make sense to me. But it looks like he is going to be getting a buff on a turn where he's attacked, implying that you'd want to use him in slot 1 to be able to get these extra buffs, which is interesting, considering I don't really see much... Okay, we'll keep reading here. So, all right, he also has a base of 20% damage reduction. Okay, here we go. And when you are in the first slot, you get 70% defense and an additional 20% damage reduction. Okay, so there you go. So he has 40% damage reduction in the first slot, and then obviously gets the additional defense out the gate, which is definitely required, right? Because he does, he is not going to be getting... actually, he's really not getting much defense at all. I suppose he does get the one-turn defense raise on his super attack effect. So that is nice, and then I assume that this is colossal damage, and then he greatly lowers attack as well, which is perfect. Okay, and then his Ultra Super, he gets a 4-turn defense, so raises defense for 4 turns, and then also does mega colossal damage. Okay, so I mean, I suppose that's good. You're probably just want to... I'm already thinking that this guy's kit is going to be looking like full dodge. Especially because of this. If you are attacked or dodged in the turn, you can get the bonus here. So even if you throw him in slot 1, he's got all the damage reduction, but if you just have full dodge as well, that's probably going to help out. Because I imagine that before you get, the defense rise from your super attack, if you were to get supered in the first slot, you would still probably take a lot of damage. So, yeah, full dodge is probably going to be the way to go on this guy. But we'll have to keep reading and see, deeper into his kit, how those things change. Okay. So, if you are attacked, so now we're getting to the first transformation here into, I believe this is a standby? Yeah, it's actually, I'm not 100% sure. I'm assuming that this is a standby mode, where we can go into, Buu and Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Let's go ahead and see. So, if we're attacked 5 times... yeah, I'm not sure if it's a standby skill or an active skill. Oh, okay, here. So it says finish skill, which means it is a standby. Okay, perfect. Okay, so yeah, once you're attacked 5 times, which again, with a unit that is built to be put in slot 1, that's not going to be super hard to do. Though it is worth considering that if you dodge attacks, I don't believe it adds to the total of that. So if we are going full dodge, that may end up causing a bit of an issue for this guy. Being able to actually get out the standby mode. That could end up being a little bit of a problem. So maybe like additionals would probably be better, like a healthy mix of additionals and dodge on this guy. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, so the reason I said earlier in the video that he is built exactly like the Buu Boys, or similar to the Buu Boys, is because of this. He cannot attack except when the finish is activated. So this is very, very similar, where once you transform into, the Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Oob here, then, yeah, you're not going to be able to attack. You just get a ton of defense, okay? And then it says from 1 turn... So, that first turn when you do transform, each key sphere gives you 1% damage reduction, okay? And you also guard all attacks with 1 or more key acquired, okay? So you're basically freely going to have guard for the first turn, and then some additional damage reduction depending on how many orbs you select. During the first 2 turns, you get +2 ki, and 3% defense for all allies. This is such a weird thing that I'm seeing. 3% defense. Why 3%? That's such a little number. Surely this is some type of typo. It's gotta be like 3% damage reduction, or like 30% defense, or like 3%. Oh, maybe it's 3% per key sphere. Maybe that's what it is. It's 2 ki for all allies and 3% per key sphere selected, something like that. I don't know. There's got to be something else here that I'm missing. Okay. And then it says he's also orb changing right here is what that is. So change to one other type other than Cheeky Ball, which I assume is int, to int. So he's changing a random type other than int into int. Okay, that's good, especially because of having the 1 turn, damage reduction boost based on the amount of key spheres he grabs. Would be better if he was a rainbow orb changer, but we can't ask for everything, right? Okay, so then he also nullifies melee type super attacks. So that's pretty good. Okay. Very, very nice. That is helpful for him for sure. Though I don't even think he would need it. This sounds like the type of unit, kind of like the Boo Boys in Standby, that are just going to be tanking everything for double digits pretty much no matter what. So that is good. Okay, so that's how the Boo is going to be working. But then I believe he is going to need some charges built up. Yeah, okay, so it's the same way, where if we've got... it looks like the magic number here is 30 key spheres, because 29% or less is going to give us the this first super attack here, and then the 30 or higher is going to give us the good one that we want, that strong finish skill that's going to do a lot of damage here. Okay, so it looks like once we choose... Oh, wait, actually, I just realized something. On the 8th anniversary LRs, the way that the standby skill worked was for 5 turns. Is there a thing that tells us here? Yeah, there is nothing like that. So it looks like once we transform into this guy, we should be able to stay like this infinitely. I guess unless it's a standard ability that the finish skills, or that the standby skills only last for 5 turns. I feel like it did specifically mention that in the 8th anniversary LR's cards about that. So I guess I'm assuming that you could stay in this form permanently once you transform, if you wanted to. But I guess you wouldn't be you wouldn't be launching attacks, right? You'd just be sitting here defensively. That does sound a little funky. Maybe it is the 5-turn thing. Okay, so regardless, when you do launch the... Okay, so if you launch the 29 or less one, then you exit the standby mode, you recover 30% HP, and then for 3 turns you get 3 ki. And I believe at that point you would go back to the original Super Saiyan 4 Goku. You would turn back into this guy here, and then just get the healing and get the additional ki. But then if you go 30 or higher... this is where you launch the stronger finish skill, and then you evolve into the super full power Saiyan 4 Goku, which is the next kit that we're going to be taking a look at here. So once you do manage to get this guy out, which again, this is not going to be often, right? Because you first have to take 5 attacks to be able to get in the first standby. Then you have to build up the 30 charge counters over the next few turns. And then, so at the minimum, it would be 3 turns, right? Because you're going to have the first turn where you transform into standby, and then you select key spheres that turn, you select key spheres on their off turn, and then you finally select more key spheres when they come back around. You might be able to get to 30 key spheres by then to be able to launch their, the charge or the finish skill to get here. So yeah, it's probably going to be a minimum of like turn 5 if you're extremely lucky and know what you're doing to be able to get this guy out. Turn 5, turn 6, something like that. Okay, so his passive skill, we've got 1% HP recovery only 1 time. 1%? That seems wrong. Oh, maybe it's per key sphere. Hold on. Let's keep reading. 1% key sphere guards all attacks for 1 turn. Okay, I'm just gonna read this verbatim to try and figure it out at first. During 77 turns, the meeting is always activated. Ah, it's that one again. I'm not sure what that is. There's certain phrases in Japanese that get translated funky. This is the second time that we've seen this. The meeting is always activated. I don't know what that means, actually. So I'm sorry to say I won't be able to define that portion of the kit for you. But we will find out soon enough. It will be cleared up when we get some real translation for the card. Okay, so yeah, this 1% HP thing is a little bit confusing to me too. But okay, so he gets 1 key, 3% attack and defense per INT key sphere or rainbow key sphere. Every time you get oh yeah. So each time you select a key, yeah. Okay, makes sense. So each time you select a key sphere, you're getting an additional key and an additional attack and defense 3%. So that's good. And then you have an additional 7 key, just flat out, looks like. By acquiring attributes other than Chikitama, every time you get energy 200%, and attack is further increased by 2% when special move is activated. Holy, this is a mouthful. I have no idea what it is talking about here. This is a lot to break down without the proper, like, verbiage. Okay, so he's getting attack 200%. No, not 200%. Attack 2% when special move is activated. I don't know what this part is right here. It looks like it's like shifting some of this stuff out of order, honestly, is what's going on. Let me skip this part for now and we'll come back to it. Okay, so when super attack is activated, crit is activated. I believe that's what Kaishin is. Crit is activated with a super high probability. I believe that would be like a high chance or a great chance. So 70%. So 70% chance to crit built in, I think. And then he gets energetic meter +1. Okay. So probably like key. It's weird that it would be using a different thing for it. So maybe there's Okay. Attack and defense 150%. Man, he just gets like constant stats and the meeting will be activated. This is a really... Okay, so the reason that I came onto this website for this kit here was because it's usually bullet pointed, right? Like it was so much easier for us to look at this, the original part of the kit, because everything was bullet pointed. So when the translation happened, each of the bullet points knew to only translate that one line of text within itself. So it was a lot easier to interpret what was going on. Now this is just like really confusing because it's this big block of text. So yeah, this is actually a bit tough to understand what's going on here. Okay, and it says, and the meeting will definitely be activated. I don't know what that means. Whether that means, like, attacks are guaranteed to hit, or is that, like, a guaranteed additional or something? I suppose it could be that. And then, okay, if you are attacked or dodged for 24 turns, these numbers are looking so weird to me. Additional 59% defense, and then reduced damage received by 5% when you are in the 77th. What? Okay, yeah, this is completely, here's what I'm gonna do. Hold on. I am going to refresh this page and put it in Japanese. Yeah, they really haven't given us much clarity on this kit. Yeah, this is kind of the hard part. Okay, I'm gonna move on from this. We'll get more, you know... Okay. Maybe I can guesstimate a little bit based on the way the numbers are set up in here. Okay, so he gets... Yeah, I'm really not going to be able to to give you guys much further information about this about this kit here. This is a bit of a rough one. Okay, well, let's go ahead and look at a super attack effect. So his 12 key, he's getting, you know, the 1 turn attack and defense raise, mega colossal damage, and then greatly lowers attack. And then for the 18 key, he gets 1 turn attack is greatly raised for 1 turn, 4 turn defense raised still, which is really good, and then mega colossal damage. So I think this, I feel like it's safe to assume that this guy's going to be absolutely cracked because there's just so many different stat builds in here. It seems like if you're using this guy in his optimal setup, he's going to be insane, but it's really, really hard to say. Just from this clutter of text right here. But yeah, I would assume, especially because, you know, the cards that they make like this that are like walled behind like multiple different activation conditions, that they know you're not going to be able to bust out until like the final turn of the fight, they usually don't have a problem making units like this absolutely busted, right? Like think about the AGL Super Saiyan 2 LR Gohan, right? Like once you transform with him, he's an absolute monster, and they don't mind doing that because they know that you're almost never going to be able to get that far to be able to pull this guy out and be able to use him greatly. So this guy probably is, you know, like best unit in the game, I would assume. Right here. So yeah, I'll have to give you guys an update about it when you know, when we actually have like the full, when someone that's can read Japanese actually translates this for me and I'm able to you know, read it a little better. But yeah, so I would say, you know, overall the card looks pretty good to me. It is another one of those Boo Boys, you know, finish skill things, which I guess considering the teams that you can run him on, I mean, if we glance down here at all of the units that link up with him, a lot of these units are on his 200% leader skill. You know, that this, he's going to be looking very, very good. Because, you know, while he is in the standby mode and not attacking at all and just building up ki, there's so many other huge, incredibly hard-hitting units that are going to be able to, you know, sub in for him and, you know, and just mollywop while he's not doing any damage himself. You've also got a few different key changers in here. You know, I'm looking at like the God Goku and stuff like that. Few different good ones. Okay, this is something else I need to talk about here. So the LR Super Saiyan 4s, people are absolutely freaking out about the fact that the Super Saiyan 4s just got a huge buff, right? Because they are one of the best linking partners with, you know, with this guy, right? They share lots of links, lots of categories, so they are going to look very, very good together. So that is a huge W, right? Definitely helps this unit out quite a bit. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this card. Now, there is something else that I wanted to talk about here. So the banner unit that's coming out alongside him is Baby. Now, I've got some opinions here. This is bad. This was another huge flop, horrible decision for them to make for a banner unit. Now, if we were to take a look at the disambiguation for Baby, in fact, let me pull that up right now. Okay, so this is what we have for all of Baby. It's pretty much untouched, right? Like, there's really not much here. And then all of this stuff is just the possessed cards. They don't really count as Baby, but, you know, then the Baby Janemba, whatever. We can ignore all that stuff. But as far as Baby himself, this is every single Baby card that we've gotten in the game. You know, and then if we're looking specifically at just Baby himself, this is actually the very first Baby card, because the only other babies we had were the youth form. We don't, and then we have Baby Vegeta, and then Super Baby 1-2, right? But we don't actually have just Baby, adult Baby. So this is a brand new named unit, which is a good thing. However, the fact that they chose to make it a mid-banner unit, it's just like an L. It's just another unit. It feels like when they released Dr. Wheelo. It was a card that we needed to buff villain teams, and then they just didn't do a good job at it, and it's not good enough to really, really be, you know, a solid buff for those teams that they're on. Same thing happened here with Baby. So let's go ahead and take a look at his kit. So he has a 130% lead to the Revenge category, and this is Inhuman Deeds as well. So great, you know, like it would have been. Okay, let's read the kit first, and then I'll continue with my rant. So he's getting 3 key and 150% stats at the start of turn. He's getting another 100% attack and defense on super attack. All that's fine. Here's where everything goes downhill. If there is a Pure Saiyan or Hybrid Saiyan category enemy, L, defense is further increased by 100%. So you get an additional 100% defense against a Pure Hybrid Saiyan enemy. Your attacks are guaranteed to hit. Meeting will always be activated. Again, here's this one. I don't know what this means. I have no idea. And then be sure to stun the attacked enemy. So I believe that means 100% chance to stun, if I'm not mistaken. Which is good, but only against Pure and Hybrid Saiyans. And then he's getting an additional 3 key, 180% attack if there's a Pure Saiyan, and then same thing if there's a Hybrid Saiyan. So, enemy is what we're talking about. Where are you going to find strong Pure and Hybrid Saiyan enemies? Like, okay, maybe the 8th anniversary battle. We'll get some of that. But the strongest stages of that, I mean, I guess you have against, like, the 8th anniversary LR stage, right? Like, okay, there you go. There's going to be, like, one fight that you can benefit of using this guy. But there's still much better teams that you can use in that 8th anniversary event than any of the teams that this guy is on. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just not... It's frustrating because all of the hardest fights in the game are against extreme class enemies. They're not Pure Saiyans. They're not Hybrid Saiyans, right? Well, I suppose, we do have, like, Broly, right? Like, Red Zone Broly, and this is a tech unit. So I guess he'll look good in the Red Zone Broly fight, but that's not, like, the most important thing, right? Like, it's so frustrating. And if you're thinking, like, well, that's not really that bad, and you're still seeing, like, some hope for this character, it just gets worse. Because if we come down here and take a look at his, categories. So they're in Japanese, unfortunately, but I know what they are. So, this is Artificial Life Forms. This is Transformation Boost. GT Boss, believe it or not. He's got Space Traveling Warriors, Revenge, Target Goku, Terrifying Conquerors, and then this is Inhuman Deeds. So if you'll notice, he's not actually on GT Hero or Full Power, which means he's not even on the new leader skill. Not only is he not on the 200% portion of the leader skill, but he's literally not on the leader skill at all. I absolutely hate when they do this. When they give us a banner unit that's just a random freaking unit. It doesn't even fit on the categories of the celebration. There's nothing here for him. And because they just gave us a baby here for part 1, it's very likely that they're not going to release, like, some Giant baby LR for part 2. I just don't see that happening. Now, if they were to do that, I could eat all these words. I would be very, very ecstatic because they could release, like a Great Ape Super Baby 2 or something like that. That would be an insane, like Carnival LR for part 2 would be really, really good, right? In which case we could see like an Inhuman Deeds lead. And that could actually be really, really good because then we would actually see a bunch of new units off of this list right here that aren't yet on a 200% leader skill would actually get some for part 2. And then, the new baby card would also be on his 200% leader skill. So that would definitely add to the relevancy of this unit. But I think it is much more likely because they decided to release the baby in part 1 here as a banner unit. I'm thinking it's probably going to be some type of like GT Trunks LR or some type of like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, who knows? Like there are many different things that they could do, but I really feel like it's more probable that it's probably just going to be a super type LR at this point, and that would be really, really disappointing. I really, really do hope that it is an extreme class Carnival LR for part 2. So we'll see. So I guess the one saving grace for this unit here is that because he's on Terrifying Conquerors and Transformation Boost, he is on LR Cooler's 200% team. So that is one redeeming quality, especially because they do share 4 links. So he isn't, the worst addition to this team. He does definitely have a spot there. And can be used. He is also on Captain Ginyu's 200% lead because of Terrifying Conquerors and then Space Traveling Warriors. But obviously he's not going to look nearly as good on that team that he would on Coolers. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is for this guy. It is definitely a bummer to me that they decided to build him the way that they built him. The last thing to consider here is that they're giving him all of his own stats. He's getting all these boosts for himself. But he doesn't give anything he's not supporting anyone else on the team, right? This is just a bad way to build banner units because you're not going to get the stats and like what's his attack stat here? Let's see. 13k? That's not, so he's going to be what, at like 18k? That's not enough to be one of just like the most amazing like top tier hitters in the game. He did like 24,000, right? You know, especially because he's going to be getting what? Oh, I guess he does have immense damage, so that is good. But or no, wait, maybe this is supreme damage. I'm actually not sure. So yeah, but it's just like he needed to be built differently, built as a support unit. It could have been a lot better for him, because now think about if we do get like a baby LR for part 2, and then this guy ends up being a solid addition to that team. He's not going to be helping the new baby card much, other than like linking up with him, right? But he's not going to be helping him as far as being a support. There's just one failed opportunity to have a solid like villain support unit that can fill in on some of these teams. Imagine how much better he would be if he was like a 30% transformation boost support, or a 30%, or even like a 40%, you know, like artificial life form support. He could be helping out some of these units so much more. So yeah, L by Dokkan with the banner unit here. Definitely not what we wanted to see. And then I'm more inclined to say that the Super Saiyan 4 Goku is like a huge W. But now that we have the full, you know, details for this, basically we just got to hang on a little bit longer, see what the actual banner is looking like, and then I will be able to make a full should you summon video, you know, looking at basically the full breakdown of everything that we've got coming for the rest of the year. We can take a look at the 8th anniversary banners, part 1 and part 2. We'll consider what may be coming for the worldwide download celebration, and then we'll talk about the TANABATA celebration too, once we have the banner released. So stay tuned for that. This is pretty much, I think, everything that I wanted to cover here. Yeah, that's pretty much everything for the new video. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I hope you guys, you know, let me know how excited you guys are for this guy. Or if this has helped you make up your mind about how you want to spend your stones for the 8th anniversary and moving forward and stuff. So yeah, that's going to do it for this one, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace!